What's up YouTube, it's DaddyRock12 here, and today I'm coming at you guys with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today I'm coming at you guys with a deck profile of deskbot. This deck is pretty powerful, it has amazing OTK potential, and with the release of deskbots 5 and 6 shortly, this is going to be a really powerful deck actually. But right now it's really good for like rogue, and it's only going to get better as time goes on. But without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into the deck profile. Starting off, you're going to run 3 deskbot 001. A lot of people don't like running this card at 3, but I feel like it's kind of necessary. He's your main OTK piece. He gains 500 attack for every machine type monster you control. So as soon as you summon, he's automatically 1,000, and he gains 500 for each other one. And he's also a level 1 tuner, which makes the deck pretty solid too. Next is 3 deskbot 002. This is like one of the best cards you can machine duplication because you just get 2 searches automatically. And this is also your go-to card to summon out with deskbot 3. It's just really good. When it's special summoned, you can add a deskbot card from your deck to your hand. And then whenever you have other machine type monsters on the field, they all gain 500 attack except for himself. And then next up is deskbot 003. This is the heart and soul of the deck. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 deskbot from your deck. So usually what you want to do is go like a 3, and then special summon out your 2, and then add another 3. That's usually like the strongest first turn play. Because then next turn you can just like summon out a 3, then summon out a 4, and then top over and summon the other 2 back. So it's pretty good. And then next is deskbot 004. This card is really powerful in the deck as well. You can just send 1 deskbot from your deck to the graveyard besides deskbot 4, and he gains 500 attack times its level. So when deskbot 5 and 6 come out, this is going to be a huge beast. And if it kills a monster by battle, you can special summon up to 2 deskbots from your hand or graveyard and face up attack position. So it's good for synchro plays, good for swarming the field, good for getting your 002's effect off. It's just overall a really good card for the deck, really good addition to the deskbots. And then next up is 3 copies of Ancient Gearbox. This card's a really cool tech card because if you add this card from your deck to your hand, except by drawing it, you can add 1 machine with 500 attack or defense. And all the deskbots have 500 attack and defense. So add this to your hand, it automatically adds any other deskbot from your deck to your hand. It just helps with like hand control, helps with rank 4 plays, and 2,000 defense, so it's pretty big in that sense too. Next up is my tech card. This is 1 copy of Junk Synchron. It's really good because it summons out your deskbot 2 and get your deskbot 2 search, and it's also another tuner for the deck, and it allows you to go into like Samsara plays, which are really powerful right now. It's just a really good card in the deck at 1. That's it for the monster count, and then for the spell count, you start off with your 3 most powerful spell card. It's your 3 copies of Machine Duplication. This card is absolutely nuts because like you just target 1 machine type monster with 500 less attack, special summon 2 from your deck. So strong, especially if you have like a 1 in hand and like a 3 on board. You just go into 3 copies of 3 and then OTK with your 001. Next up is your 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. It's also pretty staple at 3 right now because this deck loses to a lot of like floodgates, like vanities. Absolutely kills this deck. If you can't get your special summons, you can't really do a whole lot. Mistake also hurts a whole lot because a lot of the deck searches itself. You just gotta get rid of those floodgates and just problematic cards altogether. Next up is 1 tech cards, 1 copy of Anti-Magic Arrows. I've been playing this card at 1. Probably gonna push it to 2, maybe even 3 because it's just so powerful. At the start of the damage, at the start of the battle phase, for the rest of this turn, spells and traps or their effects cannot be activated. So not only does it stop cards like Mirror Force, which is like your worst nightmare in the deck because you really have no like defense against Mirror Force, it also stops things like Yang Zing Creation. Like they can't even attempt to use their creation to summon out another one. So it's a pretty good card. I would put this at 2 if I had another one. And that's it for the spells. Really small spell lineup. And then the MVP of the deck is the trap lineup. It's a huge trap lineup. Starting off, I'm main deck 3 copies of Mind Crush. There really isn't any good decks right now that don't add things from the deck to the hand. And Mind Crush is just really powerful in that sense. You know, it just gets rid of a lot of cards, and you also get to see your opponent's hand, so it's pretty good in that sense too. Just pretty solid. And if by some chance you're going up against a rogue deck that doesn't add cards from the deck to the hand, you can just side this out. You know, it helps go into your side deck. Next up is 3 copies of Phoenix Chain. Phoenix Chain is like the best form of effect negation in my opinion right now. I mean, Effect Veiler is good, but Phoenix Chain is just so good because it negates it permanently and they can't declare an attack. So, it's just really solid. Next up is 3 copies of Reckless Greed. The reason that I run 3 copies of Reckless Greed is because it helps you get into your combo pieces, and once you get into your combo pieces, you don't really need the draw power anymore. It's more about just the attacking power. So Reckless Greed just really helps for like OTK plays and things like that. Next up is 2 copies of Mirror Force. Mirror Force is just really solid. It punishes bad players. I've said it in every deck profile I've ever made, but Mirror Force really punishes bad players who likes to overextend. Next up is 2 copies of Magic Cylinder. I've been playing this card at 2 in this deck for a while, and it's really powerful because like all your despots get really big, and your opponent's really only out to that is summon something bigger and try to swing over it. And when they do, you just flip up Magic Cylinder, and they just sometimes mostly they just lose. So next is 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill. I run Breakthrough Skill mainly as a more like a hand trap than a trap card. I mean, the effect negation on your opponent's turn is good, but what's really good about this card is you can banish it from your graveyard to negate a monster on their side of the field on your turn. So that's what makes it even better. And then I run 2 of the staples, Bottomless and Torrential. That's all for the traps. It's a huge trap lineup compared to the rest of the deck. Onto the extra deck, only 2 XD monsters, 1 copy of Geargiant X. This helps you get your gearboxes and things like that from deck to hand, and it helps you search out the rest of your despots. And 1 Mesmerism, the Stringent, because it just helps get over really big cards. You know, it's 3,000, so it's pretty good. Next up is the Synchro Monsters, and it's 1 Colossal Fighter, 1 Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader is really good. A lot of the meta decks right now just lose a Crimson Blader. Like things like Necroz, this is really powerful against Necroz and things like that. Mermail, this is really good against Mermail too. Next up is 1 copy of Black Rose. Black Rose is really good. You know, just nuking the board is really silly in any sense of the word. Next is 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon. Just for those times whenever you run up against a deck that does use fill spells, things like Gravekeepers and other rogue decks like that. 1 Gravity Warrior. It's pretty good. Gains attack based on how many monsters your opponent has face up. So next is 2 Go-Yo Guardian. Go-Yo Guardian is just too crazy not to run. It's just a really nasty card. But what sucks is usually when you have the opportunity to go into Go-Yo Guardian, usually you're going to go into Natria Barkion more often than not. This is like a really good card in the deck because stopping traps is... This deck loses the traps really badly. Like things like Mirror Force, Deep Prison, things of that nature are really bad to run into with this deck. So Barkion just helps not to lose to that. Next is the Out to Necroz. This 1 Materia Beast. You can usually go this card turn 2, if not turn 1. And if you do on Necroz, they really suffer because they have no out to this. They have nothing because they can't use any of their spells to summon things or anything like that. So it's just really bad. 1 Samsara. This is like the nastiest card in the deck sometimes, you know. Like if your opponent summons something really nasty and you stop it and then Samsara it, it's really dirty. For those of you who don't know what this card does, this card lets you, when it's destroyed by your opponent's card, by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 monster from either player's graveyard. So it not only, it's like Monster Reborn on legs with a 2600 booty, so it's kind of big. Next is 1 copy of Armades, because stopping like effects during the battle phase is really important with the deck. Things like Mermail really kind of suffer to this. Not only do they lose their sphere, but they lose like their Lind plays and everything like that. And then the last card is 1 copy of Armory Arm to just poke over or poke through for that little bit of extra damage. But it's just a solid card too. But yeah, that was it for the deck profile, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know, if there's something else that you guys like to run the deck, just let me know. Put a comment. And like always, this is the D-Rock 12 signing off.